Even if you wanted to, there are many reasons not to get too close to the capital lakes besides not wanting to get your shoes dirty. State environmental officials have advised against touching the soil, eating the fish, or drinking the water that comes from the lakes due to above average levels of hazardous chemicals found in the lake's water. This has been felt throughout the community, from the fowls to the fellows. Though local media has been trained towards the dredging of the LSU lakes, a far more deadly body of water lies less than 5.5 miles northeast. This is one of the most toxic sites in America. On the surface, the lakes are beautiful and full of life. A deeper look, however, reveals polluted soil, fishing advisories, and several carcinogens in the fish and soil. Though the lakes see several residents a day walking, jogging, and biking, the recent informational meeting from the Environmental Protection Agency was mostly empty. If residents had gone, they would have learned that the capital lakes are so polluted that they qualify for federal intervention. Instead, residents are surprised, confused, and scared.
I sit by the lakes all the time, so knowing that I could be touching the soil and potentially being exposed to chemicals, that's kind of scary, and I've never had anybody tell me that. Otherwise, it's kind of frightening.
In addition to the EPA meeting, there have been signs advising against eating the fish caught in the lake since the 1980s. When asked, the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality said they had no plans on upping the advisory to a mandate, which did not match the tone of EPA Remedial Project Manager Allie Dunford.
Number one, do not consume the fish that you catch from capital lakes and the lake network. Number two, do not come into contact with any sediment in the lake network. And number three, know that the EPA is taking action, and we will be completing a remedial investigation and feasibility study coming up to start off the Superfund process.
EPA officials estimate that action could take months. It could take years to get construction vehicles like the ones at Campus Lakes to the Capitol Lakes, and even longer to get the Capitol Lakes the attention they deserve. Mel Bridges, Tiger TV Newsbeat. From the cryptic announcement posts on social media to the unassuming venues, frequency can be hard to find if you don't know what to look for. But once you do find it, you'll be rewarded with one of the only raves in Baton Rouge.
The music is the focus. It's not sort of this weird environment that almost sort of preys on commodifications of like sex and party.
Joseph Brooks, who DJs under the same name, has been with Frequency almost since its inception. About 1 year ago, Frequency was started to fill a lack of rave scenes in Baton Rouge. Through venue changes, DJs graduating, and attendance that took a while to get going, Frequency survived a year with no signs of slowing down. Brooks attributes this to a number of reasons, including good fortune and good fans.
Of course, luck is not all of it, but I think we are very fortunate to have found a group of people who are interested in this kind of music, who do want to come to every event we have. I mean, we have regulars, which is something we didn't have 6 months ago.
Frequency operates once a month, which gives DJs, most of whom are students, plenty of time to plan their shows. Date and time announcements are made less than a week in advance via social media or posters that appear around campus. Despite this unconventional marketing campaign, Brooks says the goal of Frequency is not to have a secret club. In fact, Brooks welcomes the idea of another rave in town.
As the scene grows, so too will the audience. And I mean, I have faith that we have a very unique creative vision, and even if other parties like Frequency start to pop up, we will be able to sort of collaborate with them and each find our own niche.
Through the dedication of a few rave lovers, Frequency continues to provide Baton Rouge with an experience unlike any bar in Tigerland, if you know where to look. Mel Bridges, Tiger TV Newsbeat.
What I tell people all the time is softball is my 9 to 5.
When she's not in class, on the field, or at her apartment, LSU softball player Allie Newland can be found doing her homework at a nearby coffee shop. Being a full-time A-average student and a D1 catcher and outfielder would be a whole new ballgame for most students, but Newland has been doing it for 4 years. Still, that doesn't mean that it's easy.
Taking care of ourselves sometimes gets put on the back burner, I think, because school has to get taken care of and softball has to get taken care of. So when there is extra time, I think we do a good job of like remembering that we're humans outside of softball. So for me, I love to read. I've always loved to read. I'm a big fan of my hammock. I try to like find new hammock spots around LSU. Sometimes I'll hang them on the palm trees at Tiger Park. It's just remembering like these are things that I enjoy doing, and softball is something that I get to do. It's not all of who I am. That makes a big difference.
Newland has to work hard as a student and as an athlete, as LSU softball only gives partial scholarships, and NIL deals for softball are less lucrative than those for, say, football or gymnastics. Some might assume that LSU gives special treatment to its big hitters, but Newland says that assumption is way off base.
As much as it is incredible to be an athlete here, like, there's a lot of hard things that come with it that regular students are never going to understand. Regardless of if they try to or not, they're always going to think, oh, like, that's an LSU football player. Like, somebody does his homework for him. Like, one of my football friends is pre-med, and it, like, kicks his butt all the time. And he's up every night, like, trying to be a doctor and play football on Saturdays. And all you guys have to say is the tackle that he missed. So I just think we have to do a good job of remembering that this experience is ours, and what people say is what people say. We just kind of have to keep doing what we're doing.
Newland estimates that she spends 30 to 35 hours a week practicing, on top of 13 credit hours and 5 to 6 hours of homework. For those of you counting along at home, that's around 2 days worth of practicing, studying, and playing per week. Getting a degree is important since going pro isn't guaranteed. Under 10% of college baseball players get drafted according to the NCAA, and Newland estimates that softball players are drafted even less. But to Newland, it's all worth it.
Without a doubt, the best opportunity softball has afforded me is the platform that I have now. Getting to be on a field and have young girls be like, oh my gosh, I can play a sport like that. Like, I can be on TV one day like that, has been huge, because women's sports wasn't as marketed when I was young. So I think the fact that they get to look up there and be like, she looks like me. Because I looked at boys when I was growing up as the best athletes, and now these kids have a chance to look at us doing great things and being great people and like serving our community.
Being a full-time student can leave you feeling like you're down to the last out. For most, adding a D1 sport to the mix would be a swing and a miss. But Newland is used to playing hardball and intends to make every day at LSU feel like a home run. Mel Bridges, Tiger TV Newsbeat.